You know you have that assignment due tomorrow, or maybe it's that email you've been putting off for days. You've promised yourself, I'll do it later, but later never seems to come. Why? Why do we procrastinate even when we know it's bad for us? It's not just you. Research shows that about 20% of adults regularly procrastinate, and up to 95% of people admit to procrastinating at least sometimes. In fact, a study published in Psychological Bulletin found that procrastination isn't just about time management. It's deeply rooted in our emotions and psychology. The thing is, we know it's harmful. Deadlines get closer, the stress builds up, and sometimes it even impacts our relationships and mental health. So why do we keep falling into this cycle? Today, we're unpacking the science and psychology behind procrastination and sharing practical strategies to overcome it. Let's dive in. 1. Emotional avoidance. First, let's talk about what's really happening when we procrastinate. Believe it or not, it's not about being lazy. It's about how we manage our emotions. Think about it. When you're faced with a challenging, boring, or even overwhelming task, how does it make you feel? Anxious, stressed, maybe even insecure, because you're not sure where to start. Our brains are wired to avoid pain and discomfort, even emotional pain. So instead of tackling that difficult task, we look for something that gives us instant relief, watching a quick YouTube video, checking social media, or organizing our desk. These distractions may feel good in the moment, but they're just ways of avoiding the negative emotions tied to the task. But here's the catch. That relief is temporary. The task is still waiting, and now you've added guilt and stress to the mix. It's a vicious cycle that keeps us stuck. 2. Poor time perception. Another big reason we procrastinate is because we're terrible at estimating time. Have you ever thought, oh, I'll do this later? I have plenty of time. But then somehow that time disappears and you're scrambling to meet a deadline? This happens because we tend to underestimate how long tasks will actually take. Psychologists call this the planning fallacy. We're overly optimistic about our future selves and assume we'll have more energy, more focus, or more time tomorrow. Spoiler alert, we usually don't. And when the deadline gets closer, we feel overwhelmed by how much there is to do. That overwhelm leads us right back to emotional avoidance. And, yep, more procrastination. 3. The battle between present self and future self. This is where the present self versus future self dynamic comes into play. Your present self is all about instant gratification. It wants relaxation, fun, and comfort. Your future self, on the other hand, is left to deal with the consequences of the present self's choices. The problem is, your present self is in control right now. It's the one making decisions. And let's be real, when given the choice between something hard and something easy, the present self almost always picks the easy option. But here's the thing. If we don't take care of our future self, we end up paying for it with stress, lost sleep, and even missed opportunities. Okay, now that we understand why we procrastinate, let's talk about how to stop. These strategies aren't magic fixes, but they can help you take back control. First, break big tasks into smaller, more manageable steps. When you look at a huge project, it can feel overwhelming, which triggers avoidance. But when you focus on just one small step, like writing the introduction of a report or organizing one folder, it feels doable. And once you start, it's easier to keep going. Here's a game changer. The 5-minute rule. Tell yourself you'll work on a task for just 5 minutes. That's it. Often starting is the hardest part, and once you're into it, you'll find it easier to keep going. Don't forget to reward yourself. Small rewards can motivate you to stay on track. For example, finish a task and then take a 10-minute break to do something you enjoy. Just make sure those breaks don't turn into another procrastination session. Finally, be kind to yourself. Procrastination is a habit, and like any habit, it takes time to change. Beating yourself up only adds to the emotional stress that causes procrastination in the first place. Instead, focus on progress, not perfection. Procrastination doesn't define you. It's just a habit, a behavior you can change with the right tools and mindset. So what's one thing you've been procrastinating on? Drop it in the comments and let's hold each other accountable. And hey, don't procrastinate on hitting that like button and subscribing. We've got plenty more tips to help you take control of your time and your life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.